Along with trying to figure out what the perfect LMS is or perfect e-learning technology, what we have seen is that people struggle the most with figuring out how to price your online course or e-learning program. And that's because no one wants to price their course wrong. And that is very understandable. But think about it this way. If you don't come up with a price for your course, you can't sell it. And no one wants to give their course away for free if you're a business trying to make money in e-learning. Welcome to the eLearning Simplified YouTube channel. Today we are diving into this question that are going to simplify your process and your challenge of pricing your course. I'm Johnny Havey, one of the co-founders of eLearning Partners, and this channel, eLearning Simplified, is all about simplifying e-learning for you so that you can provide the most value to your learners instead of focusing all the ins and outs and all of the challenges of e-learning. We're here to simplify it for you. Remember, if you want to dig even deeper into e-learning, we have a link to our free masterclass right below this video in the description to help you guarantee the success of your e-learning program, online course, or virtual training every time. So definitely drop your email in there and you will get instant access to our masterclass. So let's dive in. Today, we are talking about how to price your online course. There are two things you need to consider when pricing your online course. The first thing is, are you creating a course for a business or an individual? What do we mean by this? This means that the online course you're developing, are you selling it to a decision maker? The decision maker being who is actually making the purchase decision. So who is the decision maker making the purchase decision to purchase your course? Is it a business buying your course for a bunch of their employees? Or are you selling directly to an individual? Maybe you're selling a personal finance course or a health and fitness course or a leadership course, but on the individual level. That means an individual is deciding to purchase it. Depending on if you are selling to a business or if you are selling to an individual, pricing is going to look a lot different. Let's pretend you're selling to a business. So let's say your decision maker is a business. If you're selling to a business, you're most likely going to sell more than one license or more than one user of the course, okay? Because a business is probably going to buy courses for X amount of employees. So when you're thinking about business, think about bulk pricing. Or think about the fact that you're not just going to be integrating or delivering or distributing a course to one person. You're going to most likely be onboarding multiple people, 5, 10, 20, 25, 100 people, 1,000 people into your e-learning program. So that could also mean that you might want to price it higher per user because of that extra work that you have to help the business integrate the program. So think about bulk pricing. Also think about pricing it a little higher. So higher prices. The last thing you want to think about when you're pricing your course for businesses is you may want to price it and package your course, the access of your course, the availability of your course to be limited. And what I mean by that is when you're selling to a business, you may want to actually only give the business access and their learners, their employees, access to the course for a certain amount of time. For example, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. So 1 to 3 year access. And the reason for this is because you might want to create some sort of recurring sales opportunities for the business. You may want to update the content and sell it to them again after 1 to 3 years, etc. Now, what we talked about on the business side here is going to be different than the individual. And it's mainly because businesses have money. Businesses have more budget. They have more budget. On the other side of things, Individuals are most likely just going to purchase one license. So they're going to purchase one license to the course. And if they have friends or family members or whoever that also want that content, they're not going to even think about doing bulk. They're just going to purchase one license and share that license with them. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You have to expect that. That's going to happen. If they're doing that, take it as a compliment. But just keep that in mind when you're selling to an individual. Is you're probably not going to be selling in bulk, so don't think about selling in bulk. Don't think about, okay, well, you can buy this license and then buy one for a friend. No, they're just going to give their license to a friend. So pricing for individuals is going to be lower than businesses. So lower prices. And a big part of that is because they're only going to buy one license. So for example, if a business is selling 10 licenses, maybe you'll sell that for $1,000 a license. So 10 licenses times 1,000. So you're going to sell it for 10 grand. And you have to think about it. Will an individual pay $1,000 for a license? They may not. So you may actually be selling the same course for like $750. So it's really important to think about this because when you're selling to a business, you may also be able to sell more users at once. So closing one sale at a business may be worth a lot more than closing one sale as an individual. So really important stuff to think about. Another thing is most likely you're going to want to give them unlimited and like lifetime access. And there's some strategy around this. Most likely an individual isn't going to use your course for more than 3 to 6 months anyway. So saying lifetime access is just like a cherry on top. I mean, when individuals hear 1 to 3 years, they're going to think, oh God, I only get this for 1 to 3 years. But when they hear lifetime access, they feel much more secure with their investment. You don't necessarily have to price it higher for lifetime access. Just add it and it'll help you close more deals. The 1 to 3 year, yet again on the business side, the reason why that's important is because let's say a business brings on 2, 3, 4, 5 more employees next year and you have an unlimited lifetime access. Well, what they could do is if they're losing employees, they could just reuse those licenses for those new employees instead of having to go back to you and purchase more. So that's why it's important to limit it when we're talking about businesses versus individuals. Individuals have less budget. They just do. So think about that accordingly when you're pricing a course. I am actually going to go into numbers here soon. On the other side of things, you need to keep in mind what kind of free content are you going to be giving your learners and your decision makers, either businesses or individuals, before they even purchase your course. Free content also means, what's your lead magnet? So, what is a lead magnet? A lead magnet is a remarkably valuable piece of content that your decision maker opts into for their learners. Or if it is the individual, they are the decision maker for themselves, the learner. So the lead magnet is a way to get a prospective learner into your marketing and sales funnel. So when we're talking about free content related to price, you need to think about how valuable is your lead magnet. So the higher the value of your lead magnet, the higher the price of your course. The most valuable lead magnets being a MasterClass, a workshop, a video series. Okay. The lower the value of your lead magnet, the lower the price of your course. This could be a PDF. This could be a quiz. You know those quizzes you can take where you like type in your info and it says it's going to spit out like, hey, this is your personality type, or this is what you should be doing with your investment portfolio, etc. So specifically, creating a masterclass or a workshop or a video series as a lead magnet with a pitch at the end is going to allow you to sell a higher priced course. So I'm going to give you some numbers now. You switch color of marker. So if we're looking at the $0 to $100 range for a course, first of all, you're probably selling to an individual. So we'll put an I here. Second, you really don't need a masterclass, workshop, or video series lead magnet unless you want to overachieve. There is no problem in having a more valuable lead magnet than your course. You could go all out, go for the highest value lead magnet and sell a low cost course, so something that's less than $100, and you're probably just going to increase your likelihood of getting the sale. It is pretty low cost though. A course, $100 or less is pretty low cost. So technically, if you're selling a $100 course or less, you don't need a masterclass, but you will overachieve if you do. And there's nothing wrong with overachieving. So you really only need like a PDF, okay? Now, if we're talking about 100 to 250, you might be looking at an individual or a business, and you're still really looking at a PDF or maybe a quiz at this point. A quiz would be a little more valuable. When you get to the $250 plus range, you need a masterclass. It is highly recommended that you pitch your product with a masterclass. So the reason why we're talking about this is because, well, also this could be individuals or businesses. And we'll just say MC Masterclass. The reason why we're talking about this is because this question stresses people out. They're like, how do I price my course? Well, there is a science to it. If you're selling to businesses, price it higher, look at bulk pricing, they have more budget. You want to limit how much access they have to it. If you're an individual, they're going to only buy one license. You can have lower prices, give them lifetime access. So maybe it's a lower price, or maybe it's the same price, but they have lifetime access, so it's more valuable. And then they have less budget. And then when you're actually looking at selling it, which is the important thing. So some people are like, oh, well, should I price it at $5,000, $2,000? 200, what do I do? It's really based on the sales strategy. So like if you want to sell a course that's $250 or more, but you don't have enough valuable content to build a masterclass, then you're pricing your course wrong. You're probably building your course wrong because you're probably providing too much value for a less than $250 price point. But if you have the value and you can deliver it in the free content, because that's the most important thing. The free content you're delivering should actually be more valuable than the course. And the more valuable the free content is, the higher you can price your course. That is the most important thing here. So when you're thinking about pricing, think about how valuable is the content that you're giving away for free. And that's what the price tag should be based on, not on the course. I mean, obviously, if you're going to sell a course for $2,000 or $3,000, it needs to be a badass course and it needs to have enough content to warrant that price. But if you're trying to sell a course for $3,000 and your lead magnet is a PDF, you just wasted your time because you're never going to sell it. So that's why these are the two most important things to consider when pricing. Business versus individual, the decision maker, these points on the board, the differences between business and individual and how they look at pricing, and then what kind of free content are you giving away. Remember, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, type your email in, get access to that free masterclass instantly. It will help you take this even further and really figure out exactly who your learners are and how to sell to them. Amazing masterclass. We'll see you in the next video.